and welcome back to The Green Screen, the only UNT sports news show. I am today's host, Bailey Duchot, filling in for Evanson, but don't you worry, I am just as excited to talk about what's been going on with Mean Green sports. To start off, let's talk about men's basketball with men's basketball reporter Elijah Thomas. Elijah, how are our boys looking out there?
Well, after a good win last week against Memphis at home, we followed it up with a depressing loss against Tulane. We had a 15-point lead with about 5 to 6 minutes remaining, and we kind of blew that lead in the late stage of the game. We had too many turnovers down the stretch. Coach Robinson made subs to get his best players out of the game. Terrell Jr. with 21 points, Stevenson with 20 points in this game. And he took those guys out and he put in A.J. Horton, he put in Cole Franklin, he put in Arnett, he put in Robinson, and we kind of lost the momentum of that game. They put a press on us late in the game. We had too many turnovers. We couldn't really find a rhythm. We couldn't really get shots at the basket. On the other side, it really took control, took momentum from the game. We played a zone against them. They got shots in the corner, wide open threes at that, and they were making them. And they got shots on the goal. They're getting to the free throw line. We fouled a lot towards the end of the game, and it kind of slowed the game down, allowed them to really creep back into the game. And when he put Terrell and he put Stevenson back in the game, we really couldn't get that control back, get that momentum back at home. They really took the crowd out of the game, and then we lose that game 77-71, and we've been a pretty good team at home. And UNT has been 10-5 at home, and this is really a depressing loss for us and moving forward in the standings.
Well, I mean, we did some good things to get up 15. You know, the guys were playing at a high level, playing together, and we just have to finish the deal. Like, guys, we played, guys had some good minutes out there, but then there's a stretch where we didn't play so well, and then we got on our heels. And so we've got to, at home, we've got to put together a full 40 minutes.
And as you can see, Coach Robinson said that stretch. You know, we really couldn't put together a full 40 minutes. It was a good first quarter, it was a good second quarter, but a little stretch in the game is where we have to continue to bank on the momentum that we built in the beginning of the first half and continue that for the rest of the game. We got to have a full 40 minutes, not from just Stevenson, not from Terrell, but from the whole entire crew.
Absolutely. And Elijah, I feel like every time we think that this team has finally figured out, you know, they're doing great, they always seem to fall short. So what do you think that this team is missing that could help them finally gain their footing?
The problem with this team right now is we're too dependent on our two stars of the team, and that's Stevenson and that's Terrell Jr. Like, we don't have enough bench contribution from everybody else around the roster. Like, when you don't have a lot of bench contribution like that, you tend to see inconsistencies. Like, you get a pack of wins, and then you get a pack of losses, you get a pack of wins, and that's why we're better at home, because bench players usually play better at home, and why we're so bad on the road. Like, we can't really be too dependent on Stevenson and Terrell. These are the only two guys in double figures over the last 3 games. Cole Franklin is averaging 3.7 points per game on 23% from the field. Reese Robinson, last 3 games, 6.7 points per game, 41% from the field. And with McClendon, who's out with injury for the rest of the year, we don't really have too much bench scoring coming off the bench. When he's averaging 13 points per game off the bench for us, we're only seeing 17 points combined, maybe nightly, for this crew. So when you don't see a lot of bench scoring and a lot of people stepping up, and it's just Stevenson, it's just Terrell, and we're saying, okay, you got to be great tonight, then it's like, okay, it's not enough consistency, right? And that's, to go up in the standings, we're going to need consistency across the rest of the season in order to move up in the standings, because we're not that far back.
Absolutely. And let's say we do get like our consistency and we do make these changes in the next games that are coming up. How do you think that will help this team?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the conference that we're in is wide open, right? We're only 3 games back from the 2 seed. And we play FAU at 3 o'clock on Sunday, and that's a big game in the standings as well. So, I mean, if we can take care of business there, then we can probably, you know, inch away at the standings margin, and we can continue to climb. We only have 4 games left, and we have 2 games, one on Sunday at home and another one later in March. So if we continue to, you know, build on momentum that we have at home, and like I said, the others got to step up. Cole Franklin, Buddy Hammer, Arnett, Robinson, all these guys have to step up, and hopefully they play better going towards the end stretch of the season, and we can climb in those standings, because we're right there. We're only 3 games back from the 2 seed.
Thank you so much for those updates, Elijah. It's good to hear that all is not lost for this UNT basketball team. Alrighty, and moving on, we have Brandon Martinez in the studio to fill us in on what track and field has been up to. Brandon, what's going on?
Thanks, Bailey. Again this week, historic, and I mean quite historic for the Mean Green track and field. We start off with the final indoor tune-up at the Jarvis Scott Invitational in Lubbock. And they didn't just compete. Let me tell you, they rose to the occasion and overcame many previous school records. From the women's side, junior Ariana Williams broke a 6-year-old school record in the 200 meters, and she wasn't done yet. She also anchored the women's 4x400 relay team as they broke their own program and finished 3rd overall. On the men's side, though, sophomore Olu Williams broke his own school record in the shot put with a throw of 17.71 meters. And a quick shout out to junior Jimena Lopez de Escalera, who made her season debut in the women's 3000 and took 3rd with a new personal record as well. And the Mean Green's lone event championship of the weekend, that belonged to junior Chase Lur, who won the 800-meter title with a phenomenal time slot. Add in many other strong performances and top 3 finishes in many other competitions, the Mean Green looked very prepared as they head to Birmingham next weekend to compete in the AAC Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships. Some exciting results, and that's pretty much all I got for today. Thank you, Bailey. Heading it back over to you.
Thank you, Brandon, for those amazing updates. It's sounding like our UNT track team is leaving their competitors in the dust. Up next is women's basketball, meaning that none other than Mason Garcia is here to tell us how they are doing. Mason, what can you tell us?
Yes, your favorite sport is back again. We're looking up. We're gaining some momentum. I mean, there was a rough stretch in there where we were losing some games, very close games by 2 points, 4 points. But yeah, we played UAB the other night, got a 30-point win against them, and Megan Nestor broke the all-time UNT single-season rebounding record. And the Mean Green women clinched a spot in the American Conference tournament with only 4 games left to play. The student section was locked in all night. They got their pink jerseys that were handed out before the game. And it was just overall just good vibes all night, the whole night. And this right here is what Megan Nestor had to say about it.
Coach Burns said on my visit, the first thing I asked was, what's the rebounding record? And coming from the NAIA level, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, but just showing that I'm able to accomplish that just really means a lot to me, and I'm really proud of myself. And I'm going to continue, setting milestones to myself and achieving them.
You need 46 for the American Conference.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, yeah.
Congratulations once again to Megan Nestor. That's a huge accomplishment right there. And like Coach Burns said, she's very close to the American Conference record. So I really do expect her to get this year, especially since she's had 4 separate 20-plus rebound games.
Man, that just sounds amazing. And you mentioned as you just mentioned, women's UNT basketball has clutched a spot in the American Conference tournament. What does this mean for the team?
Honestly, it means they can not relax these next couple games because these are still meaningful to gaining momentum, but they can use it to get some other players going. Like Asia Proctor, this last game, she shot 9 of 16. I mean, she was getting her shots up. And her and Coach Burton kind of joked in the press conference about, like, she's had a green light all year, but she hasn't necessarily used it the way he wants to. Mm-hmm. So now she's like an ultra green light, if that's what you want to call it. And then Andy Schisler, she's another person you want to get going. She doesn't really fill the stat sheet. I mean, she's a very good shooter, but last game she had a plus 31 on her plus minus. So that just shows like how impactful she was in the game. And then Shania Price. I mean, this last game, she was playing much more aggressive on offense. She took a bigger role on offense. And she's a person that she plays lockdown defense. She's starting most games. And that's a person you just want to get going a little bit before the playoffs.
100%. And from what you've told me, with all these team key players, and it seems like team chemistry is looking up, how do you think that they're going to do actually in this American Conference tournament?
I think we have a really good shot, honestly. I mean, Rice has been the best team all year in the conference. They're undefeated, but we've lost by combined 6 points to them. So, like, we're in all these games. One of the games we lost by 2. So we can really compete with them. I think we could really compete with anybody, especially if we can get going and just really get the offense moving.
I mean, thank you so much for those amazing updates, Mason. It's great that the season is only looking up from here for this women's basketball team. Now, I'm not sure if our audience is aware, but UNT does in fact have a club hockey team, and surprisingly enough, hockey is pretty popular here in Texas, and our producer, Seth Wickman, has the latest scoop on how their season is going.
The UNT club hockey team wrapped up its roller coaster season, falling to TCU 8-3. The loss put them at a 4-9-1 record and sent them home, ending their postseason aspirations. They ended up ranking 7th in the Texas Collegiate Hockey Conference compared to last year's 5th place finish with a playoff spot.
You kind of have to look around the room and say, you know, who's our next leader is really where we're at. And just finding those guys, maybe it's a team of leaders. It's not necessarily just one person, but just finding those people to look up to and, you know, just learn from is really what we need to do.
Aaron Houston is going into his 3rd season on the team and has a few things he thinks should be improved.
Some things that we could have improved on, I think, are just kind of when we get back into the locker room after a bad period or a bad game is, you know, we get really down on ourselves, and I think that's something that a great team never does, and you have to just reflect on what you did wrong and fix it in that next period, that next game, whatever it is.
For the Green Screen, I'm Seth Wickman.
Man, as you can see, our club hockey team is looking good, and I can't wait to see how much they continue to grow. Moving on, we have softball, who had a pretty fun weekend, as well as softball reporter Mehl here to tell us all about it.
Unfortunately, this past weekend didn't go the way that we expected it to go. However, we were able to get back in the win column Wednesday night against East Texas A&M with a 4-0 win. Here are some clips we have from the game. Annika Anderson shined Wednesday night, pitching a complete game shutout, breaking her career high of strikeouts with 8. She also broke her career low of walks, only walking 1 person the entire night. Just a complete great showing from Annika the entire night. Offensively, we were also able to put together a really good showing. Elizabeth Moffitt hit another home run, 5 on the season, with her and Madison Conley combining for 2 extra base hits and 3 RBIs. The UNT offense as a whole looked a lot better than it has the entire season with 9 hits. This is definitely a completely different team from what I saw this past weekend, and they really seem like they're starting to get their groove, get back into a groove with a lot of important games coming up this weekend with another tournament. Elizabeth Moffitt says that the key to her success is not taking anything too personally. Nothing's that deep. That's the whole motto that the team has this entire season.
I mean, that sounds like a great home opener, if I'm correct, right? It
was a great home opener. The crowd was electric. Everybody was on their feet for most of the game. I mean, it's easy to get into a game whenever, you know, there's 9 hits, especially with another home run.
For sure, for sure. And my question is that how does this performance from the North Texas softball team compare to how they performed at their last tournament in Mississippi?
Just a completely different team. I mean, the bats went pretty dead last week in Mississippi. And tonight, again, like I said, 9 hits. I mean, Moffitt's off to a great start to the season, which is what, you know, we really need if we want to win more games.
100%. So, I mean, it sounds like a really big pick-me-up from how they started the season to begin with.
Yes, of course.
Awesome.
Of course, and that also has to do with we have, you know, a tough schedule, and, you know, you got to get through that, and that's going to teach us, and that's going to allow us to have games like this while we learn along the way.
100%. And I mean, they have the Lion Classic starting off today, actually. So how do you think that it's going to go with like the momentum that they just got from this home game, and how do you think that that's going to help them compete throughout this tournament?
I think that we can definitely use the momentum from this win to, you know, pick up a couple more. I mean, we have a great opportunity. I think we're the most talented team at this tournament. We could pick up 6 wins. You know, that would obviously be ideal, but even, you know, just getting back in, you know, a good win streak with 2 or 3, you know, that could really help us turn our season around.
100%. Thank you so much, Matt, for those updates. I mean, this softball team, it sounds like they're about to knock their season out of the park. Checking in on our golf teams, men's golf is on a roll. Earlier this week, the team tied for 2nd at the Border Olympics, finishing only 2 strokes behind the champion UH. And the undeniable standout has to be Mitchell Mayer. In his 6th career start, the freshman went 4 under par in the first round, 1 under par in the second, and he did get a little bit shaky in the third round, going 6 over par, but overall he ended up tallying up 13 birdies and 1 eagle, allowing him to finish 14th individually. So let's hope that they can keep up this hard work as they move into the Louisiana Classic next week. And as for women's golf, they have the Chevron Collegiate this Monday, so I want all of you guys to wish them luck. Finally, in the studio and looking very snazzy, might I say, we have Josh Landers with the latest on tennis.
Thanks, Bailey. I am so incredibly happy and excited to be returning and reporting on UNT's women's tennis team. North Texas Tennis is currently 5-4 overall, currently on a 2-game win streak against Weatherford College and UT Arlington. Despite blowout wins against teams they should win against, let's be honest, we've also displayed our fair share of disappointing results, such as blowout losses against Houston and Rice. This past Monday, UNT played Louisiana Tech and Weatherford College in a double-header in Denton, losing marginally to Louisiana Tech 3-4. UNT's head coach Amanda Stone, I got to pick her mind about the loss, and here's what she said.
And yeah, we knew they were going to be tough coming in, and it was a tough match. We figured it would come down to the last court, and it did. Was really proud of how we came out in the doubles. Thought we played excellent there, and we got that point. And they've had a huge win last week against the number 9 team in the nation, and so we won that on court 1. That was a great job. All we can ask is that our team fights and gives everything they have, and I think they did, and it just didn't go our way today.
In their close loss to Louisiana Tech, UNT took home the doubles point thanks to wins from Lou Shallard and Lily Schultz, including a victory by Carolina Ladner and Marina Adati to move ahead 1-0. The win from Shallard and Schultz was one of the strongest of the entire year for North Texas, as they took down the 2025 first-team All-Conference USA selection Zoe Epps and Isabella Walker to snap their 4-game match winning streak and hand them their second loss of the year. Pia Podolinsek pushed the Mean Green lead to 3-1. El Tech, however, responded with decisive wins for the comeback behind the back win 4-3. In response, UNT swept Weatherford College 4-0, being their second sweep of the year after defeating Incarnate Word 7-0 earlier this season. The Mean Green's next game is today at 2:30 p.m. as they play Abilene Christian in Abilene. And I'm predicting that UNT will win this game. Go to Abilene, be loud, and cheer on the green. That's all I got. Back to Bailey at the desk.
Thank you, Josh. And if my ears aren't deceiving, I believe you said that they swept somebody. So it's time to get out the brooms once again. And it sounds like this was just another great week for Mean Green Sports. And what better way to stay updated than here at the Green Screen, the only UNT sports news show. Once again, I've been your host, Bailey Duchot, and we'll see you here next week.